Welcome back to The Source. I am here in West Virginia, of all places, which I did not expect to end up on my travels, and I'm here with a super special guest, my absolute favorite cosplayer in the world. So please welcome Rachael to the show. Thank you so much for being here, well, letting me be here.
Of course.
I'm so very lucky. I'm getting to be in Rachael's home, which is awesome because I get to see a lot of her cosplay materials and some of her costumes and wigs and jewelry, and it is absolutely incredible. So how long have you been cosplaying?
I started in 2018, actually. My sister got me into it because she was cosplaying, and it kind of just went from there, and I looked at all the different people on Instagram who were in the scene, I guess.
So just in the past year, I've seen so many different ones, all of which were incredible, like super high caliber. How many did you do last year? I know you did like a little video where you compiled like all of them.
Yeah, last year, a lot more than I've ever done because I set myself a goal. I've always wanted to do the Halloween, 31 days of Halloween. And I didn't quite hit that goal. I missed out on 6 days at the end, but...
That's pretty close though.
Yeah, and you try to do videos beforehand and characters beforehand to have enough content. But it didn't really work out. But I did do probably like 25 Halloween cosplays on top of the ones before that. So
that's amazing.
It was a lot. It was a lot. And I'll be honest, I kind of don't want to really do that again just because it was very, it was a lot.
It's strenuous and probably expensive as well.
Yeah.
Trying to gather everything you need in such a short amount of time.
For sure, yeah. Cosplay is definitely an expensive hobby.
You do some of the best makeup that I've ever seen, and it's incredibly, you are so malleable. Like I will watch your entire face shape change. Yes, it's changed to look more like the character in ways that are absolutely mind-blowing to me. There's also an incredible like gender fluidity. Like you can...
I love that aspect of it.
And it's amazing watching you be able to do pretty much any character you set your mind to and just completely transform to become them. Do you find that there is any challenges for like certain characters, certain types of characters, or do you find that like male characters are harder to do for you?
It's definitely come a long way in terms of learning what contouring, because that's the secret, is contouring. So I find that female characters are a little bit harder for me, actually, because with male characters, you know exactly what to carve out, usually, with the contouring. But with female ones, it's just kind of harder for some reason to learn exactly how to transform in the right way. So it's definitely been super fun to learn how to do the male contouring stuff, because people had asked me at one point, like, why do you do male characters and stuff? And it's like, well, there are so many male characters. It was a male-dominated anime industry, so it would be not fun if I only did the girls, because there's so many characters I like.
Right.
Yeah,
and
just too many.
You have a pretty good art background too. You've done a lot of drawing and paint. Do you feel like that comes into play in the makeup, like your understanding of blending and color and light?
100%. It's funny. I always say my art teachers would kind of die if they figured out what I was doing with my degree.
I think some of them would watch and go, "Hey, I taught you that.
Yeah.
I know how you did that."
I see what you did there. No, but it was funny because I came from kind of like a fine art background that was very conventional. There wasn't a lot of fantasy art or anything like that where I got my degree. So at the very end of my semester, when I graduated, my favorite teacher was like, "You know what? I think you would do better in fantasy." And I took it as kind of an insult at the time because I was doing realism. Like the whole college experience was realism, because that's what they teach to get you better at the principles and whatnot. But so I took it the wrong way, and then years later, I do fantasy stuff. So it's just kind of like, thanks, teacher. You really know your stuff. So yeah, I find that the blending and the painting aspects of it, the painting, the face paint is my favorite probably, because I can just paint, and that's really fun.
That is really cool. So I got to see a little peek at your cosplay closet and where you store some of your items, and there are so many wigs.
The wig
so
wall.
many wigs. Yes, the wig wall is incredible. Have you counted them? Do you know how many you have?
I counted right before you got here, and I think it's around 55.
That's more than I thought.
Yeah,
55.
there's the ones on the wall, and then I know there's like 10 or something scattered around. So let's do 55 to be safe.
That's incredible. Have you been able to reuse some of them for multiple cosplays?
For sure. There's like
even though you have 55, you're able
yeah,
to
because some characters will have very wild hair, and you can't really use that for other characters, but sometimes you can. So if there's like your standard black long wig or your standard blonde, the basic colors, definitely reuse those. And if there's bangs, you just kind of smush them to the side if there's a character that doesn't have bangs, that type of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, you just wash the wig after you style it if you do want to use it for a different character, and just restyle it when you need to.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever given your wigs haircuts as well for some
Yeah.
characters? I imagine this happens a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
So you kind of, in a way, have to also have to know how to give haircuts.
Yes, it's definitely come along my too. So I cut my own hair too, so that I can kind of get more practice in Tyler's hair also. But so I had to get like my own pair of like actual scissors, and then
Like
of
hair
course,
cutting scissors.
yes, hair cutting scissors and stuff. So when I need to, like for instance, if I learn a new wig technique, which I'm super big on right now, I will give them a haircut, and I like to refer to them like when I wash them, I give them baths. Like give this character a bath or something. Just like the wig soup that you just put your wig in to just get all the crud out of it before you need to do it. It's a whole thing. It's a whole process.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
So, and you don't have any background in being like a stylist or anything like that before this, not professionally or school-wise or anything, right?
No.
So this is a lot of self-taught stuff just to be able to pull off accurate character cosplays. This is really incredible. Do you have a favorite wig?
Ooh, a favorite wig. Actually, yes, and it's not mine.
You have 55 in there, but the one that is your favorite isn't yours.
Yes.
It's like a borrowed one.
I started doing commissions actually the end of last year, and my friend was going to a con, and she didn't want to, take months and months to learn the wig stuff that you gotta learn to do some of this stuff. So she was like, "Hey, can you just kind of style this wig for me?" And it's Diluc from Genshin Impact, and he's probably one of my favorite characters in the game too. So that's kind of why I gravitate towards that one. But it was probably one of the first times where I was actually super proud of the wig, and I had tried something new with it too. So that's also kind of why I liked it. I wish I had it to show you, but it has a lot of curly, like flippy curls in it that aren't kind of what I had been doing before. So it was kind of it looked really cool on camera.
Doing commissioned cosplay pieces, that's like a whole nother step into the world too. And I imagine it's got to be hard to like work on something and
give it away. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
As an artist, you're used to that, but as a cosplayer, most of what you do is for yourself and for your own collection and your own end goal. So that's like another interesting element. Do you know how many cosplays you've done to date?
Including last year, which I had a bunch. I don't. I want to say I've repeated a lot of cosplays over the years. So
and improved them and done variations on them.
Yeah.
That makes the number hard to
right.
very hard to count.
So if we take the number of wigs that I have and then just kind of add some to that, probably around like 70 characters or so. But a lot of them I haven't done stuff for. So I have some wigs that I've bought, not styled, and just kind of have in the back of my head that I want to do that character at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it. So a lot of what ifs too with those.
Do you have a favorite character that you've done?
Last year so the Halloween thing really got me to learn a lot of skills, and I knew that it would, so that's kind of why I wanted to do it.
To challenge.
Yeah, and to speed up the process of learning in a really short time frame. Kind of just tackle some bigger projects, and one of the ones I did was Ryuk from Death Note.
It was incredible. Yeah, it was one of my favorites
I
of
loved
yours too.
that one. And
Yeah,
it
it
looked
was.
so weird and wild. I was just like, what?
You were unrecognizable. You completely transformed. It was incredible.
Yeah, and I had just done some things that I didn't know that I could do. Like, for instance, I just bought some thermoplastics to make sharp teeth, and I wish I had that for Ryuk, because you can form it to your mouth, like a mouth guard, and then you kind of just, with a fork, you just push it up to make the sharp teeth, and you can just pop it in for characters with sharp teeth. So I didn't have that for Ryuk, so I used, I saw that you can use eyeliner to kind of draw in the dark spots of your teeth, so that's what I did for Ryuk, and that's partially what made me look so crazy, because I have really sharp teeth. So yeah, that was super fun, and I hadn't actually seen someone do Ryuk that way, so that's also kind of one of the reasons why it's my favorite, because I didn't follow, because usually with the cosplays I'll kind of have like somebody that I'm looking at, you know, to kind of figure out, and then kind of build it from there and do it my own way. But with that one, I just kind of looked at him in the anime and just kind of went for it. And I think it turned out a lot better than I thought it would, so I kind of want to build on it, because, you know, for cosplay and for videos, you just kind of shoot from here up. So that's kind of the only things that I had gathered for the cosplay. So maybe in the future I'll get like more parts to do the whole thing.
Yeah, full
take
body.
it to a con or something.
Yes, go live with it. That would be a really good one for that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Do you have any plans to do or attend any conventions this year, in 2023?
I do. I am going to Katsucon in February.
Oh, that's next month. Not too far yet.
It is, yeah. And they have, usually the ones I stick to are the ones in DC. So Otakon in August I usually go to, but this year I'm going to try and branch out, I think, if, you know, money is in the cards, to go to MomoCon in Georgia.
Okay.
So kind of just on the East Coast so far, you know.
I think AwesomeCon is in DC as well.
I did go to that one a couple years back.
It's a decent show. I like that one a lot. It's not as known for cosplay, obviously. That's mostly primarily comics, but
right. I remember when we went to that one, it was very different because I had been so used to the anime ones where everybody's a weeb and everybody's wearing their cosplay, but it was like half Marvel and half cosplay, so it was a very big mix of different fandoms.
I really hope that I get to run into you at a convention this year in full cosplay. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be.
Of course, knowing my luck, I wouldn't recognize you.
I have thought about that before, you know, just you at a booth and me coming up and being like, is this Joshua Werner? And this being in a completely different person and seeing if you can recognize me. Being like, you know who I am?
Can you announce to our viewers any upcoming cosplays that maybe you haven't told anybody you're going to be doing yet? Is there anything you're sitting on?
Cosplans. Let's see.
Cosplans. It's a good word.
Cosplans. I know that I have gotten a couple wigs for characters from the Chainsaw Man anime that has become super popular. They just finished their first season, and it blew up.
It's streaming on Crunchyroll and Hulu?
Hulu, yeah. Crunchyroll and Hulu. And so I have told people that I'm doing the Makima, but I have the wigs already for the other characters, so I might as well just do them too at some point. So.
Yes!
Yeah.
This is super exciting.
Yeah, and that's kind of the good thing about having so many wigs is that eventually, you know, I'd like to think that there will be a point where I don't need to buy any more and I can just be like, oh, I want to do this character, I've already got half of what I need to do it, and so that's the goal. But it's so fun to go to conventions because you meet so many different people based on the fandoms you connect with.
Sure.
So
it's the best.
It is, and like last year we went to one in the Skate, the Infinity fandom. The anime is not very big, so when we did a cosplay group, there were several other people who came up to us and said, hey, we don't see this fandom very much, can we take a photo with you, or what's your socials and stuff. So now after the convention you have more friends than you came there with, so it's super wholesome. It's just like a wholesome
really is.
Nerd thing that everybody can like have fun together with.
There's been some really interesting cosplay trends. Off camera we were discussing a little bit about what's happening with cosplay in the world of nerd culture and pop culture and how it's been impacted by the pandemic. And from what I've noticed is that live cosplay at shows obviously was hitting an all-time high, and you were seeing the best of the best start getting booths as guests of the conventions, and signing and selling prints and spending more time behind a table than they are on the show floor. And there was a rising interest in the craft. You were starting to see a lot of online articles, and a lot of really great videos and blogs about what goes into the work to build a really complicated cosplay. And I feel like that has gone down significantly, but I also feel like the pandemic had a lot to do with it, because you would think the pandemic had a lot to do with it because of the lack of live shows and the lack of seeing those kind of guests. But at the same time, it lends itself to the internet. It's a very online culture where you can get to do this from home and shoot your own videos and your own photos. So you would think that it would still kind of withstand the test of time, and I believe that it will, as being a major part of pop culture. But I always wonder, from the standpoint of a cosplayer who treats this as a hobby, but also sometimes more than a hobby, what your end goal is, if there is one, other than doing it and enjoying it and getting to meet more people. Do you hope to monetize it in any way in the future? Do you hope to do more commissions? Do you hope to be a guest at a convention someday?
Well, I thought about it a bit. I know that I probably would want to do more tutorials in the future to kind of, because right now I don't really do very much in terms of teaching other people, and I think that would be really cool. Maybe monetizing it at some point, because I've started to do YouTube Shorts, so that's kind of the route I hope to go on that platform at least. But as far as long-term goals, probably just kind of education route with cosplay, because there are a lot of cosplayers who are more on the crafting end of things. They will be super cool and kind about sharing their process, and then there are others that will kind of gatekeep their process and not tell you how, and I think it should be something that's shared. So I feel like the more I learn, I would want to share that, and so hopefully it becomes a platform where people can come to just kind of learn things more condensed and more easily, kind of in one spot. But probably not going to conventions. I'm very shy. But yeah, if I could do that, that would be pretty amazing.
Look at all these wigs. There's so many wigs.
I actually got the inspiration to do that from a cosplayer that I follow, and I was like, whoa, that saves so much space, and you don't have to smush them in a little,
Right,
tub.
hanging them on a wall, and
yeah.
Yours are all color coordinated.
The rainbow wigs. Yeah, I don't know what to show, because all of these are smooshed. Let's see. So this is one that I'll be wearing to KatsuCon. And it is also from Genshin Impact. This is a good piece down here. But so Doki Doki Cosplay is like a very well-known company that does canon pieces for video games and stuff. And so here's the vision over there.
Oh, wow.
It's very detailed, earrings stuck to it, but it actually lights up because they glow in the game, so I thought that was really cool. And so these cosplays are super detailed. I've never been able to afford one until now, so I was able to get one. It is the most expensive cosplay I've ever bought, and I'm really excited to wear him to con, so that I can, get some longevity out of it and get my money's worth too. So that'll be super fun. I did kind of a casual cosplay thing last year, but never got a chance to do his full one, so I'm super excited. And I have this massive monster up here that I worked on
so big.
a few years ago. It's actually 2 wigs in one.
Oh, wow.
And the way that I styled it is different from the way that I would do it now, so I really am excited to kind of redo her. It's Junko Enoshima. So one day I'll have to redo her, but I have some more techniques up my sleeve now that I can use for that. So, good
and
stuff.
then we have all these items over here.
The accessory wall. So, let's see. What can I show you from here? So one of the cosplays I do every year is Coraline.
I love your Coraline.
Thank you. She is one of my favorite characters, and I always like to do kind of spooky versions of her. And I made the little clay things for her, the little seeker, and there's a key somewhere too. Let's see if I can find it. It's probably on the other side. Yeah, it's not here, but I made them out of clay just because I was like, you know what, I'll just make them instead of buying them. Here's, if you have seen My Hero Academia, there's a character with, her quirk is earphone jack, and she can plug in and listen to very quiet noises. So
It's literally part of her
yeah,
ear.
and so I cut them off and painted them skin tone color, and I just kind of like hook them on my ear. I know some people have on Etsy have like made earrings, but I was just like, I have these. Let me just make them. Can't really see all of them,
wow.
but these are all my contacts, and
I have seen you completely transform with contacts to the point of being slightly creeped out.
I know. I love that though. I recently got the whiteout contacts for like zombie characters. Those are some of my favorite. But like the rule, I say that like it's canon, but only have your contacts for a year or else they will hurt you. So one of the cosplays I did that I haven't shown anybody was for Halloween. I did Carrie, and
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that.
yeah, I haven't posted her. I don't like the way it turned out and it sucks because I did the whole scene where she pours blood,
Oh, yeah.
like she gets blood all
You
over
made
her.
a big old mess. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to like stand in the shower and like figure out how to film, and it was just a whole thing, and I got fake blood in my eye, and it got in my contact, and I had to throw those contacts away. It was a whole thing, and for me to not like the way it turned out was just kind of sad and disappointing after going through all of that.
Where do you want to send our viewers to check out all of your stuff?
Well, probably TikTok, but I personally don't. It's not my favorite platform, so I'm trying to get the YouTube shorts off the ground. So if you could go there, that would be great.
Where can they find you on TikTok and YouTube?
It will be Sakura Spectre is my handle.
All
Just
one word,
one
right?
word.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
SAKURASPECTRE.
Yep.
Nailed it.
Got it.
Thanks for watching and for learning. Hopefully I see you guys in the future to kind of teach you some more about cosplay as I get better at different schools. So thanks for being here.